Okay, let's dive in. Today we're digging into some really interesting excerpts. Sources focusing on Suryaji Malusare.
Yes, the hero of Sinhagad, as the title suggests.
Exactly. And our goal here is to really get a handle on his, well, absolutely vital role in the Battle of Sinhagad.
It's a famous battle, of course. Many know it because of Tanaji Malusare, his brother, legendary figure.
Right, Tanaji is the name everyone remembers. But these sources, they argue Suryaji's actions were the key, the thing that saved the mission right at the critical moment.
That's what we want to unpack. Why Suryaji, the less famous perhaps, was so essential.
So maybe let's set the scene a bit. We're talking February 4th, 1670, Sinhagad Fort.
Right, a really strategic location. It was held by Udaybhan Rathod, a Mughal commander.
And Shivaji Maharaj needed it back for his Swarajya, his sort of independent rule concept.
Crucial piece of territory. So the plan was bold.
Very bold. The source describes this secret night assault, led by Tanaji himself, climbing the fort walls.
Classic Maratha tactics, really. But then, well, things went wrong. A crisis point.
Which is where the sources really zoom in.
They do. They focus on that moment. Tanaji Malusare, leading the attack, gets into single combat with Udaybhan Rathod.
And Tanaji is killed.
Yes. The leader is down. Imagine that.
Oh, absolutely. The impact on the troops must have been devastating. You know, the man who got them up there is suddenly gone. Potential chaos.
Total collapse was possible. Defeat right there.
So, what did Suryaji do? The sources must highlight this.
They really emphasize his immediacy, no pause, no hesitation. It says immediately after Tanaji fell, Suryaji stepped up, took command.
Just like that. Presence of mind.
Incredible presence of mind.
Yeah.
And then comes that really dramatic move the source points out.
The rope.
Yes, he blocks the escape route, the very rope they'd climbed up. He essentially trapped them there.
Wow. So no turning back, literally.
Exactly. The source presents it as cutting off any thought of retreat before he gives that incredibly powerful call to the soldiers.
Which was...
Now either win or die. Stark. Simple.
powerful. It frames the stakes perfectly. It's everything or nothing now.
And under his command, fueled by that, well, that desperation and Suryaji's resolve, they rallied.
So the tide turned.
Completely. The source describes how the Marathas regrouped, fought with this renewed fury, and managed to defeat the Mughals. They took the fort.
The mission was saved.
Yeah.
Because Suryaji stepped into that leadership vacuum.
Precisely when it mattered most, when their hero had fallen.
And then the aftermath, which is quite famous, Shivaji Maharaj's reaction.
Yes, that poignant line. Gad Allah pen Sinhagad.
The fort is won, but the lion is lost. Captures the bittersweet victory perfectly. The cost.
It does, but the sources also make it clear, while grieving Tanaji, Shivaji Maharaj absolutely recognized Suryaji's critical role, turning potential disaster into victory.
Earned him huge respect, obviously.
Immense respect, and the fort's name change reflects that too.
Right, becoming Sinhagad Lion's Fort. The source connects this naming not just to Tanaji's sacrifice, but to the whole fight. The fight Suryaji ultimately led to victory.
It honors the combined effort, the bravery shown by both brothers and the men.
So if we sum up Suryaji's qualities, based on this account, what stands out?
Well, definitely bravery fighting on after losing his brother, incredible leadership in crisis, loyalty, obviously, and that ability to inspire when things looked hopeless.
He really was the savior of the mission, as the source implies. Tanaji initiated it, made the ultimate sacrifice.
But Suryaji ensured it wasn't in vain. He picked up the fallen standard, you could say.
It's a compelling perspective. Tanaji the legend, Suryaji the perhaps unsung finisher who secured the win.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How often history turns on these moments. Not just the famous names, but the less visible figures.
The ones who show that presence of mind, that leadership, when everything goes sideways unexpectedly. Yeah. So this deep dive into the sources on Suryaji really underscores his essential contribution. Maybe sometimes overshadowed, but vital for Sinhagad. Vital for Sriracha.
Absolutely. It leaves you with that thought, Victories aren't just about the initial plan or the first hero. Sometimes it's about who steps up when things break down. Definitely something to ponder.